This episode is brought to you by Batiste Dry Shampoo. Whether you're on the go, at the gym, or getting ready for a night out, Batiste has a dry shampoo for you. Refresh with over 10 signature fragrances. Or try Batiste Hint of Color, a tinted dry shampoo that seamlessly blends with your hair. Need an extra boost? Try Batiste Dry Shampoo with added benefits like volumizing, texturizing, and more. Buy Batiste now, in-store or online at your nearest retailer.
Sid and Friends in the morning. 77 WABC.
And so I say to the people of New York, with crime at record levels, with terrorists and criminals pouring in, and with inflation eating your hearts out, vote for Donald Trump. What the hell do you have to lose? What do you have to lose?
Well, he is so right, man. What do you have to lose? It's a mess. City, state, country, world, it's a mess. Donald J. Trump, he gets an A+ for last night. He was at the very top of his game. He's back in New York. He's got 18,000 people that they don't even love him. He's like God. I mean, when he walked out last night, I can't really explain it to you. And if you watch it at home on TV, you can't even appreciate it. I've been to the biggest sporting events in sports. I'm talking about been inside a building during an NBA championship, during a Stanley Cup hockey game, not even outside. Outside, Giant Stadium, Shea Stadium, Yankee Stadium. You're inside one of these arenas when they're playing for a championship, and it's nuts. I'm sorry. What I witnessed and participated in last night was even bigger. When he walked out, that place shook. I used to go to football games at the University of Miami. I went to school there, the old stadium, the Orange Bowl. And they had these really rickety wooden bleacher sections, and they would stomp on them. I would do that. And the whole place would shake. This place last night was going to erupt like a volcano. It was nuts. Everybody in red, white, and blue, Trump signs everywhere, 47, Make America Great Again, cowboy hats, boots, you name it, Trump T-shirts everywhere. They don't like him. They don't love him. He's God. Seriously. It was really cool. And he was at the top of his game. Like Rich Lowry is every week on Sid and Friends in the Morning, the editor of the Nat Review. Well, congratulations, Rich. For the 59th time in team history, it's official now. Your New York Yankees are on the way to the playoffs.
Yeah, thank you. So there's some periods this team didn't look so great. They kind of fortified the lineup. Torres is better. Austin Wells has emerged. They got Jazz Chisholm. So the lineup is extended or at least beyond the amazing duo in the 2 and 3 spot. So we'll see. And I have high hopes that they could make it to the World Series. And by the way, I'm totally with you on crowd noise. My Caps, who won the Stanley Cup a little more recently than your Rangers,
Fine.
I went to one of the Stanley Cup games in Washington, and just as soon as I got to one of the passageways to go into the bowl of the arena itself, just a wave of sound. And that's not like a arena that's famously loud.
Right.
It's just you feel the intensity.
So just imagine amplify that by 2. And that's what you had last night. By the way, one concern for the Yankees is the closer, Clay Holmes.
Oh, yeah.
He can't be blowing leads in the postseason, but we'll see.
I mean, he's gone from closer to unreliable 7th inning guy, and he may drop lower because they may swing a starter or 2 into the bullpen.
They may have to. But talking about last night again, the noise and the crowd and the patriotism. It really was unbelievable. Now, look, that doesn't mean he's going to win the election. Doesn't mean he's going to win New York. Doesn't mean any of that. But, I started thinking to myself, when Kamala Harris, during the debate, actually brought up, people leave your rallies. So Brian Kilmeade is taping interviews with the people in the arena last night for Fox News. And I bump into him. And he said, Sid, are you leaving early? And I said, Brian, no one is leaving early. And the truth is, I didn't see one person leave early to the very end when he played that song and he puts his hands out like Jesus Christ and he looks up to the skies and he looks at every side of the arena. Rich, nobody left. Nobody.
Yeah, well, you've seen other rallies where people have left early, but it's clearly because they need to beat the traffic because there's such a massive crowd there.
True.
And speaking of leaving early, going back to sports, my greatest example of leaving early, if you look at Kirk Gibson's home run, the classic call of it, you'll notice as the ball is leaving into the right field seats, you can see in the parking lot one pair of taillights of one person who decided he or she is going to beat the traffic. And that's one of the greatest home runs.
Oh, that was huge. It was the Dodgers beating the Oakland A's in the World Series, and the late, great Vin Scully made that call. You can see the car in the parking lot. Well, let's get to some of the substance last night. Above and beyond the crowd, the size, they stayed, they left. He's talked about all this stuff that you expect him to talk about, all the major issues. But I thought he did a very good job, too, Rich, of pinpointing some of the issues here in New York. He also talked about working with the mayor, Adams, and the governor, Hochul. And look, Hochul hates him. I think Adams hates him, too, but he needs him because he's in so much legal trouble. But I thought he did a very good job of pinpointing local issues. What about you?
Yeah, so I don't think he's winning New York, and I think the point of that rally is because it's so notable that it was in New York and so big, it gets coverage everywhere. And hitting those local issues, I think they have national resonance because you're experiencing these sort of failures in every Democratic jurisdiction in the country. So, and also there's national implications because people tend to forget. You tend to naturally think, oh, the swing House districts are in swing states. Wisconsin must have 5 of them. No, like New York has 5 of them. California has 5 of them.
That's right.
So anything that resonates in those districts helps bring in a Republican congressional majority, if he wins, which he obviously needs.
Larry Kudlow here with an urgent warning. Washington is coming for your savings to pay for their spending mistakes. That's why thousands of Americans are shielding their savings with gold. For a free 2024 gold guide that explains everything you need to know, please go to colonialmetalsgroup.com/Kudlow or just call 800-621-3908. That's 800-621-3908 for your free gold guide and learn if you qualify for up to $7,500 in free silver now.
Advanced Radiation Centers of New York emphasizes the importance of prostate cancer screening and encourages everyone to schedule their PSA test. Early detection is crucial for survival. ARC is at the forefront with advanced radiation technologies to cure prostate cancer. ARC is the first in the U.S. to perform the BioProtect balloon spacer, which minimizes damage to healthy tissue. Get tested today. For more info, visit advancedradiationcenters.com or you can call them 866-955-4ARC. That's 866-955-4ARC. So the last time you and I spoke was before a second attempt on Trump's life. That happened Sunday, just a couple of days ago, 3 days to be exact. And people have asked me, and you're a lot smarter than I am, they go, do you think these assassination attempts help Trump? Now, look, here's my opinion. You know I feel this way, Rich. I think from the very beginning, the independent, the undecided voter has been way exaggerated, blown out of the water. I thought that way from the beginning. And now, 46 days away from the election, maybe there's 5 of those people. Maybe. But, hey, listen, those 5 votes can help. Do you think these assassination attempts help or don't help mean anything to the voters?
I think the first one, and it's so insane. We have to enumerate now the assassination attempts. There's a first one and a second one. But the first one helped. I mean, his reaction was so extraordinary, and his favorable rating, because of the assassination attempt or his reaction or the convention, they did bump up, and he's higher in the favorable ever. But I don't think this one, I think the media's kind of memory holing it, and, we care about it, and we know how
Rich.
But it's going to, it's disappeared from the mainstream conversation really quickly, and it was a second assassination attempt.
Right. No, it has.
But I'm increasingly of your view, by the way. They're undecided voters, and you need to try to get them. But I was just looking at the latest round of polling, swing states and nationally. It's just tied, like everywhere.
Yeah.
So everyone's dug in. Everything has happened. You can look at it one way. That nothing's mattered. it's just a 50-50 or 47-47.
Right. So your phone is not that great, but I do want to ask you the last thing. I used to ask you this every day leading up to every week, I should say, leading up to the last election, every week. And you remained steadfast that Joe Biden was going to beat Trump. And if you believe the election wasn't rigged, like most people do, then you were right. So let me ask you today, 46 days before the election, who wins?
Trump.
Trump? All right.
Yeah. I slightly favored him all along. Maybe favored him more when Biden was in his real swoon. But, I mean, this thing is extremely close. I wouldn't be shocked if she wins. But still, I think the country is ready to move on from Biden. She's his vice president. She's trying to do the change thing that's hard to do as an incumbent vice president. And he still leads, more narrowly now, but still leads on the major issues of economy and inflation and border.
Rich Lowry, as always, great job. Your phone wasn't great, but you were great. So we'll do this again next week. I like your pick today. Keep picking them because you were right last time. So keep picking them, Rich Lowry. Excellent job. Rich, of course, is the editor of the National Review, but he's everywhere. They syndicate his columns in the New York Post. You see him on NBC. You see him in Politico. All that great stuff. Rich Lowry.